Hello everyone, Shabba Gamer here, and welcome back to our next episode of the SWE Universe Mode. I forgot what I was supposed to say then. We are back with our next episode of Octane, and I've got a special one lined up for this evening, including a very good main event, where we'll see Tetsuya Naito and Kota Ibushi teaming together. And here's our opening match of the evening. It's going to be a little bit of women's action as we see Dana Brooke taking on Piper Niven. I think this is, well, this might be Dana's first appearance actually so far in this universe mode, I think. We did see her as part of Season 2. I quite liked her. I do quite actually like Dana Brooke. She was someone who, when I first saw her debut in NXT, I absolutely detested her. But as time's gone on, I've started to really appreciate her. I think she's done a lot of work. You can see massive improvement, like humongous improvement from when she first started in NXT. And I really appreciate the work she's doing actually now. And now she's part of Titus Worldwide as well. It seems to be working pretty well for her, and I'm glad. She's had a tough time the last year or so, hasn't she? So to see her finally getting a bit of a push, well, it's not necessarily a push as such, it's just giving it a I think that's the main thing. A push doesn't necessarily have to be going for a championship. It solely could be the fact that you are getting more TV time, and that's exactly what she's getting at the moment. And being part of Titus's little stable is definitely going to help her out, I think. And we could do that here on our roster. No reason why not. But of course, she's got to prove to us what she can do, though, as well, because we're not just going to give her an easy run. She's going to have to beat the best, and I think anyone can look at Alicia Fox over on Mayhem and realise that there's opportunity for anybody out there in SWE, if you win the matches, to get the opportunities and get the championships. And that's exactly what Alicia Fox did. And that's exactly what Dana Brooke or Piper Niven can do by chaining a few big victories together. I don't necessarily think this is a very good Piper Niven, to be honest. The problem is, on the last year's game, after the Mae Young Classic, there was a lot of very, very good female cores around. This year we haven't quite been as lucky so far. There has been some good ones, but there has also not been some good ones, if that makes any sense. I think this one's okay, attire wise and size wise it looks okay, but it's just, for me the face is still out. Yeah, for me the face is just still out, and I'd like to see it. I'd like to see if I can get a better one at some point in the future, but at the moment this is the best Piper Niven available. And we are ready to go then. Both ladies in the ring. The referee rings a bell. And we are underway. I apologise if you can hear me clicking, because I've got 15,000 things on my screen at the moment. I'm just trying to remove a few of them. I don't know why I decided to start recording while I said all this crap on my screen, but now I'm trying. There we go. I think I've got rid of it all now. No, another pop up. There we go. No, another one. Okay. I think we're ready. No, there's another one. Oh, too much stuff. Too much stuff. There we go. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Right, I'm going. So tonight, as I said earlier on during our intro, tonight I did announce it last week. We are going to see Kota Ibushi for the first time in Season 3, and he'll be teaming up alongside Tetsuya Naito in a tag team Tornado Extreme Rules match against Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston of the New Day. Now that, for me, I'm going to be completely honest with you, the reason why I've made it is to try, again, I'm not showing favouritism, but on paper I would assume that Naito and Ibushi would be the favourites for that one. So my plan is to try, and if they do win, they're both going to get 10 ranking points and move themselves up the ranking a bit. Also tonight we are going to see a tag team #1 contendership match. Now this is an interesting one because the Colognes, who have won a couple of big matches, Epico and Primo, they beat Mustache Mountain last week, so we're going to give them the opportunity here this evening. And they're going to face off against what was planned, well, I planned this month to allow Sheamus and Cesaro the opportunity, because Sheamus now becoming the European champion is going to be busy at the pay-per-view defending that. So the question was, who do we go for? Now, I spoke to Cesaro, and he was desperate to keep this championship #1 contendership. So he said that what he will do is, if he can't team with Sheamus, he completely understands that Sheamus has the priority of keeping his European Championship. So Cesaro has said he will try and find another partner to join him this evening in that Tag Team No. 1 Contendership match. We're also going to see the first appearance in Season 3 of SWE of Will Osprey, as he takes on Billy Kidman, making his debut in SWE. Wow, superplex there by Dana Brooke on Piper Niven, wow. We are going to see Alistair Black taking on Elias Sampson, or just Elias if you're Vince and you just refuse to acknowledge people's surnames. And then, of course, this match right here. In our dark matches so far, we've seen Spectral Envoy defeating Darren Young and Titus O'Neil of Titus Worldwide. Spectral Envoy, if you're not aware, is Ultramantis Black and Hallow Wicked from Shikara. Finally managed to get some calls to them, so we'll use them on screen at some point. And, of course, we have seen another women's match. Oh, Michinoko driver there by Piper Niven on Dana Brooke. Is that going to be enough? There's the pin. Referee so slow to get down, but 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. Piper Niven does pick up the 5 ranking points and the victory. Good for her. Pushing up further the rankings. And I'm sure we will get a better version of that as time goes on. I'm making lots of noise now, aren't I? There you go. I'm trying to turn my lamp on. I've just realised I've had to lean over my whole setup just to get the button. And there was a Michinoko driver. Nice finish there by Piper Niven. So yeah, it's going to be a good show tonight. I think I like the idea of the main event. That match with of course Ibushi and Naito in there, taking on Woods and Kingston. Alistair Black versus Elias. Will Osprey making his first appearance in Season 3. It's another stacked show, isn't it, really? Another stacked show. So Piper Niven victorious. She gets the 5 ranking points. It's -5 for Dana Brooke. And if Piper can chain a few victories together, she might just get herself in the championship picture. And here is our next match of the evening. It's going to be a battle of the DLC as Alistair Black takes on Elias Sampson. I'm looking forward to this one. Of course, we've seen Alistair Black a few times over the last few weeks, but Elias, this is the first time we've seen him so far in SWE in general, actually, yeah. He's never been in SWE before, none of the previous seasons. I'm glad he was actually put on the game as DLC. I think he deserved it. Well, he's on Raw. Of course he has to be now, doesn't he? And of course on 2K19, which will be the next game, I should imagine, he'll definitely be on that game as well, which is pretty cool. Again, the thing is, I can't help but do this. I did this last year. I remember sat there last year going, oh, it's going to be amazing. We're going to get Sanity on the game. We're going to get all these guys in the game. It's going to be great. But you think in next year's game, 2K19, we're going to get Adam Cole. We're going to get Bobby Fish. We're going to get Kyle O'Reilly. We're going to get, hopefully, Almas this time. Kairi Sane. Shayna Baszler. Liv Morgan. And, of course, the other ladies that have moved up. I've got her name now. Sarah Logan as well. She's not on the game yet. So there are just so many good names. And I was reading a report earlier saying that it's very heavily rumoured that Ricochet will be starting with WWE in early January. Or in the first sign-up of January anyway. So that it could be really interesting what happens there. And I'm hoping that we do see some really good names being added onto the game. I can't think of who else there would be in NXT who's not in the game as yet, though. Big names in NXT. There's been no sort of big signings recently, I suppose, has there? Only in the female spectrum. No real big male signings. Is that my thing? Am I missing anyone? You've got the Adam Cole, Kylo Rich, Bobby Filey. Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. I would like to see Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch on the game as a tag team. That'd be pretty cool. I really like Oni Lorcan. I can't really think there's anyone else on there. Of course, main roster-wise, you've got a few, haven't you? You've got Shelton Benjamin and people like that, and there potentially could be even more. And I wonder whether the Women's Rumble, which has been announced now for the Royal Rumble, I wonder whether we'll see any legends come back as part of that, because rumour has had it recently, the reason the women came up from NXT was because Vince thought that the female divisions on both shows were getting a little bit stale, so he decided need to freshen things up again. So maybe he would look to bring in a legend or two. Gail Kim, of course, now retired, in air quotes, from TNA. Has she done the same little trick where she's going to end up on WWE TV once again for a bit. Who knows? Who the hell knows? It's really, I'm looking forward to that, actually. It's going to be really nice. I've actually, what I did this year, right? Because I work for a big company, but the site that I work on my own. I'm a site manager on my own. And basically, if I want time off, I have to organise it with my boss to get somebody to come in and cover me for a few days. And I've really struggled to do that this year. So what I've done is, September just gone, I sat there and planned out my holidays for next year, for 2018. So essentially, I've got 2 days booked off for Royal Rumble. I've got about half a week booked off for WrestleMania. I've got some time booked off for SummerSlam and some time booked off for Survivor Series. I've got all the Christmas booked off already. I am really prepared this time. I don't think I've never stayed up and watched a Rumble live. Last year, I think I got up at 5 in the morning and watched the Rumble before work, which was pretty fun. But I've never watched it live. I've only watched WrestleMania live for the first time over the last couple of years. And I'm going to be doing that again this year. Elias taking Alistair Black up and slams him down. Black slides out of the ring. And Black taking a couple of seconds here to compose himself before re-entering the ring. And this should be an interesting match, this one. I've not changed anything, so these two guys are as they should be stats-wise. I think Alistair Black's around about an 86. And I think Elias is like an 82. So this will be a pretty closer match than what people might imagine. But the form that Alistair Black has been in of recent, I would put him down as my favourite to win this match. Although things are not going my way necessarily to be good to start off with. But now Alistair Black, gets reversed straight into a Northern Light suplex. Of course, we can't not talk about the incredible recent form of Neville as well. Who, a lot of people would have said he's had a lot of wins recently, but they've been against fairly easy targets. And I think I would agree with you on that one. He's had some very easy wins. But last week he really proved us in the main event of Octane that he is at that step ahead of what we thought he was with that massive victory against Hiroshi Tanahashi. So I'm now thinking Neville's got to be someone in with a shout of going for the Octane Championship. And I dare say someone like Alistair Black, who again has picked up quite a few victories over recent weeks, would like to compete against Neville for that opportunity. And who knows, a win here for Alistair Black, and I might just make that match happen in a few weeks' time. Would you want to see Adrian Black versus Neville? Adrian Black versus Neville? Would you like to see Alistair Black versus Neville for the #1 contendership for the Octane Championship? I think that'd be pretty awesome, actually. With Kenny Omega up for grabs as well. Ho, 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 ho. A boot in the side of the head there by Alistair Black. Sorry, I still have to stop myself every now and again from calling him Tommy End. That's just how I remember him, as I watched him so much as Tommy End in the past. A boot right in the gut, and another attack here by Elias, who's really doing well here, Elias. Being incredibly dominant. And it's still Elias in firm control of Alistair Black, and it's tricky with this game sometimes. You don't. I think Alistair Black is slightly ranked ahead of Elias. I've got Elias's name now. I like this Elias character, you know. The thing is, I've often said, right, that when people move up from NXT to the main roster, it never generally goes as well as everyone hopes it would. However, for Elias is the one person from me who I think really changed the mold. Elias is the one guy who came up from NXT with not a lot of buzz around him and has ended up doing better out of it. It's not very often that anybody does better on the main roster than did in NXT. But this, I think, for Elias, is the exception to the rule. He has done fantastic since moving to the main roster. He's really getting a lot of heat. He's a fantastic heel. And I don't think it'll be long before we see Elias with an Intercontinental Championship around his waist, to be honest. The modern day honky tonk man. There's a double foot stomp there by Alistair Black. Oh, and Elias caught him with a boot in the face. Elias now, the crossroads on Alistair Black. Out of nowhere. I'm looking forward to tonight's matches, you know. I really am. Big forearm once again by Elias. Another spinning fisherman's neckbreaker by Elias on Alistair Black. There's the pin. This could be a win here for Elias, you know. 1, 2. Oh, wow. Wow. Elias has done it. Elias Sampson's just defeated Alistair Black. Wow. Well, well, well. What do we do here then? What the hell do we do here? I was saying earlier on, and I had in my mind that I just felt like Black was going to win this one. I must admit, with the momentum he's picked up the last few weeks, I thought this would be another stepping stone for him. And I did have the intention in my mind of doing Black versus Omega for the #1 contendership. But now, with Black losing that match, is that still a justifiable match? Or do we just take Neville straight for the championship? I don't know. Or do I go for Elias Sampson, Alistair Black and Adrian Neville in a triple threat match for the #1 contendership? But then again, is Elias Sampson a man we can see with the Octane championship? Then again, he's just proved us with that victory that he's maybe a little bit better off than we thought he was. I don't know. I don't know what to say. This is going to take a bit of thinking, I think. Neville versus Elias versus Black. Or just put straight in for Neville versus Omega. Possibilities are endless here, aren't they? And here we go then. Here's our next match of the evening. It is going to be Billy Kidman taking on Will Osprey. I'm hoping Billy Kidman doesn't actually have WCW on his name. I've only just realised that. I thought it was Billy Kidman. If it comes out as Billy Kidman WCW, that's going to annoy me. No, he doesn't. Okay, that's it. That's fine. I thought he was going to come out as Billy Kidman WCW for some reason, but I know it's just the name of the attire, isn't it? It's a bit like when you've got Triple H 99 and Triple H 2000. It actually just comes out as Triple H. I pretty like these two calls, to be honest. Billy Kidman for me was someone when I was younger. I spoke about this on Mayhem a few days ago, didn't I? I sort of watched wrestling around about the sort of time when the late 90s and so forth, when the likes of Billy Kidman and so forth were at their prime, really. So it's pretty cool for me to bring these sort of guys back and use them in SWE, because they're the people I remember. And I think if you weren't watching wrestling at that generation, Billy Kidman might not be a wrestler you would know of, to be honest. He's not a wrestler that sort of spanned, like, you sort of think back to your generation of wrestling when you were really at your peak of enjoying wrestling. That might be now. But if you're a little bit older and you look back on yourself, and there'll be those sort of wrestlers that you can remember. Like, I remember a guy called Lash LaRue. He probably has never been spoken about in 20 years by anybody. But he was somebody when I was younger that was... And Ernest the Cat Miller. He was another guy who was quite big at his time. He was over. But he's not going to ever be talked about much after that, is he? And Storm and Norman Smiley. Good old Storm and Norman Smiley. And there's all these sort of guys that you think about that were wrestling when I was really watching it at its peak. And Billy Kidman was one of those sort of guys. Let's say if you didn't watch WCW wrestling in that sort of period of time, Billy Kidman probably means... Did Billy Kidman move to WWE for a bit? I think he did, didn't he? He was in WWE for a little bit of time. So yeah, I think he's the sort of guy that if you didn't watch wrestling at that sort of time, you probably wouldn't know much about Billy Kidman, to be honest. And there is, and this is our Will Osprey we've got. This is the best one I can find at the moment. I think it is pretty good, to be honest. Again, it's a bit like the situation I had with Ricochet recently, where he has changed look quite a bit over the last year, and trying to find one that matched that has not been the easiest task in the world. But I think I've just about done it. So here we go then. Billy Kidman, one of the prime cruiserweights of the late 90s over in WCW, taking on Will Osprey, one of the best cruiserweights in the entire world right now. If not the best cruiserweight in the world. It's amazing. It still amazes me, right? To think that me and PJ Tovey were going to Southside wrestling shows in the UK about 4 or 5 years ago now. We were going to these shows and we were watching people. The very first show we went to was Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano were there. We saw Jimmy Jacobs. We saw Alistair Black. We saw... who else we see? Michael Elgin I met. Davey Richards. Will Osprey was there quite a lot. Mustache Mountain were there. All these sort of people that we saw live and we stopped and had a chat to and all sorts. And you look at it now, I'm thinking about watching... I'm not thinking about it. I am going to watch Wrestle Kingdom beginning of the new year. And I'm going to watch one of the guys I watched wrestling in Huntingdon in the UK in front of about 100 people at max. He's going to wrestle in front of like 100,000 people in the Tokyo Dome. It's incredible to think how it's all developed over the last few years. And watching Kevin Owens and wrestling on the... what the hell? The hell is going on tonight? What just happened? What on earth just happened? What, how? What? When? Why? And here we go then after that. Bombshell. The two bombshells in a row. Alistair Black and Osprey losing tonight was not something I assumed would happen, to be honest with you. But that's what happened. That is what 2K have given us to work with. And that's the excitement about doing it this way. I know if the thing is, I think I've said this before, and I think a few people have said this in the comments before as well. If I play the matches, it no longer becomes a surprise who wins. And you've got to have that surprise. You've got to have that little bit of interest, that little bit of... the thing that keeps you going, the thing that keeps you coming back. And that's the reason why I like doing this. Because if I was playing the game, it might be a little bit more enjoyable for me. Because I'm not just sat here talking crap over the top of it. But at the same time, I think I would get... it would become a bit too easy. Because you'd know who's going to win everything. I don't want that to be the case. I want to build it up. I want to have that excitement. And this is just the same case as well, where I was trying to build up Mustache Mountain last week in a match against the Colognes, and the Colognes won, and they won 2 big matches in a row now. Hence why they've been given this opportunity in this tag team #1 contendership match to face off against, of course, Cesaro, and Cesaro's partner for the evening. Well, I say for the evening, it could be long term. It could really be long term, depending on who Cesaro has in mind. The Swiss Superman. Hey, it's me, Gringo, Cesaro. Yeah, that was my Mexican-Swiss accent. Good old Cesaro. I remember when Cesaro first came back from injury after, was it WrestleMania last year? When he first did that, he came out in his suit. And they're like, you got to wrestle. And then he just ripped the suit off and had his gear on underneath. I thought that was bloody hilarious. I don't know why, but when he first did that, I'm sure it was the night after WrestleMania he came back. Yeah, and he just came out. I think it was when Mick Foley was still GM. Yeah, he came out and, yeah, you're going to wrestle right now. And he's like, okay. Just tore his suit off. Oh, that was so funny, that was. So who Cesaro managed to get in as his tag team partner for this match this evening? That's the big question. Now, this is a standard tag team match, this one, yeah, and the main event is an Extreme Rules Tornado. So who's Cesaro? Ah, wow. Wow. Cesaro digging into his history and bringing out Tyson Kidd to join him here as his tag team partner. This is good. I like this. I like this. Cesaro really knows how to get the crowd going, bringing somebody like Tyson Kidd in as his tag team partner. I'm sure Sheamus would approve as well. Of course, Sheamus, the current European champion, won that belt away from Pete Dunne at our recent pay-per-view. And I'm sure Sheamus would be very happy if Cesaro and Tyson Kidd could win some gold as well. But first, they need to get past the Colognes before even getting an opportunity at the Young Bucks at our upcoming pay-per-view. So here we go then. Tyson Kidd once again teaming with Cesaro. I feel like this might be the last game for Tyson Kidd now, to be honest. And Tyson Kidd will probably fall into that bracket I was saying about earlier. Like, if you think about in wrestling in 10 years' time, if you think about our current day wrestling, you'll be thinking about AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, probably Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. Guys like Tyson Kidd probably won't get a mention. And that's just the way that I had sort of Billy Kidman in my mind. He was at the right time and the right place for me. As... I don't know who this is. I'm going to assume this is Epico. So the easy way to tell these apart is that one's wearing trunks and one's wearing shorts. That'd be the easiest way to figure this out, wouldn't it? But I don't know how easy that's going to be to do. I'm sure we can figure it out. I think this is Epico, because normally I'd select them in alphabetical order, and Epico would be an E, obviously. I get the first one, and then the second one would join straight away. Oh, nice diving headbutt there by Epico. Remember, we do have Carlito on this brand as well. Carlito is due to wrestle next week against Mike Bennett. So keep an eye out for that one next week. I think Carlito's only wrestled once so far. The Colognes here are dominating Cesaro. There's the pin. 1, 2. Wow. It was almost a 3 already. Wow, that was pretty insane. The Colognes really looking strong here. But Cesaro catching him now, taking him up, looking for that power bomb. Straight jacket him up there as well. Cesaro feeling it now. Bringing Primo back up to his feet. And the Primo Athlete. Cesaro now dragging him away from those ropes. Now dropping him face first across that turnbuckle. Run their back, looking for that German suplex, and the Colognes dominated the early proceedings of this match. But now Cesaro starting to turn things around. And in comes Tyson Kidd to show what he can do. And he gets caught straight away in that quick takedown by Primo, I think. I used to have a piece of paper on my desk that used to say, like, Jey Uso, face paint on right, Jimmy Uso, face paint on left. And I'd have all these little things written down so I knew which member to... And, like, Butch and Luke, the Bushwhackers, trying to figure out which one's which. And the Singh brothers I struggle with as well. Like, Demolition and Legion of Doom are fine because they've got different face paints on, but... I think these ones with very similar attires, or even twins or brothers or so forth, I generally struggle with, I must admit. Primo now taking Tyson Kidd down. Well, I'm just going to keep going for this and hope that I've got this right. This is Epico now, I think. I'm either going to get it consistently wrong or consistently right, and that's what I want to do. That is my hope. Epico up top, so I'll go in quiet there because I can just hear wind. It's like really weird, it's like really blustery. Epico now bringing Tyson back up to his feet, into the corner he goes. Brings away from it, he's sent him quite some distance away. Another diving headbutt to the spine this time. Rolls Tyson into the pin. 1, 2. It's only one count actually. Nice spinning neckbreaker there by Tyson Kidd. Tyson now bringing Epico. I've forgotten already, haven't I? Nice backstabber there by Epico on Tyson Kidd. And Tyson's down here. There's the pin. Cesaro has the referee distracted, but not for long enough. 1, 2. And that's it. The Colognes have won. Oh my god. Well, the reunion of Cesaro and Tyson did not last very long, did it? As the Colognes have just earned themselves a match against the Young Bucks at the pay-per-view. Wow. Well, the Colognes have really thrown a spanner in the works of everything I've done so far this year. Everything I've done so far this year, the Colognes have I think they've had 3 tag team matches so far. Every single one they were supposed to be jobbing, in my opinion. But they've won every single one they've done. It's been crazy. And the reunion of Cesaro and Tyson Kidd is very short-lived. There was the backstabber referee telling Cesaro he needs to leave the ring. Cesaro still distracting him for as long as possible. And then Cesaro going in to try and break up that pin, but it was just too slow and it was already done. He'd been caught by Primo anyway and blocked off. And there we go then. The Colognes, Epico and Primo will face off against the Young Bucks for the Tag Team Championships at our upcoming Octane pay-per-view. What a weird world we live in, eh? And here we go then. Here is our main event of the evening. It is going to be Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of the New Day taking on Tetsuya Naito and Kota Ibushi. And the way my night's been going so far, I have set this one up. So I don't often like to... I'm not one for squashes or anything like that, but I've tried to set this match up to try and advantage Naito and Kota Ibushi. It's going to be make or break for them two, because they're either going to get 10 points winning this match or they're going to lose 10 points and get further away from the pack. So this is a big match for them. I've given them the opportunity, but it's all down to them to whether they can win it. And based on how the night's gone so far, with Cesaro and Tyson Kidd losing when I thought they would win, Osprey lost against Kidman when I thought he would win, Alistair Black lost against Elias and I thought he was going to win. The only match that's gone the way I expected it to was Piper Niven defeating Dana Brooke, really. So let's see how this one goes. Can I make it 3-2? Or 2-3 at least, anyway. So, of course, this is going to be a Tornado Extreme Rules match. So there's not necessarily a lot of teamwork that needs to happen. You just need to coexist, really. So it shouldn't be too difficult for Naito and Ibushi. But like I say, it should be in their minds they both need these points as desperately as they possibly can. So that's what they need to think about. They need to think about the greater good. And surely they can do that. So here then comes Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. 2/3 of the New Day. And of course we can't... because it's a tornado match and Extreme Rules, we're actually not allowed to have the... to have any managers in this match. So we couldn't have Big E at ringside. I suppose a little bit, not annoying as such, but... it would have been nice to have had Big E at ringside, but I suppose in a no DQ match it probably would just end up on a 3-on-2, wouldn't it, really? And then here comes Tetsuya Naito. Of course, always rocks a nice, interesting attire, doesn't he, when he comes to the ring? And of course, this guy will be half of the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. Well, half of the main event, because for the first time ever, they're actually advertising this year's Wrestle Kingdom as a double main event. And Tetsuya Naito versus Kazuchika Okada is half of that for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I'm looking forward to that match, actually. I've seen Naito wrestle a few times, and what I have seen I very much enjoyed. But I'm looking forward to seeing him go up against Omega, because I must admit, I always say I'm going to, but after the last couple of years, I've always said, oh, I'm going to watch a lot more New Japan this year, and I just don't get around to it. I don't even watch much WWE anymore, because I just, obviously, with doing the channel the way I do, and uploading, like, 2 videos a day at least, I just, I don't really have the time a lot of the time to actually, to watch wrestling for myself, so... I will do. As long as I watch Wrestle Kingdom, I know I'll be a happy man. Because Wrestle Kingdom is always guaranteed to be an immense show. It always is. It always has been a cracking show. And if you've never watched Wrestle Kingdom before, I suggest you do so. Because it is just... The problem is with Wrestle Kingdom is once you've watched it, you've ruined wrestling for life, because it's just so good that just everything else is downhill from there. But then again, that's what it's been like the last few years. I'm not going to guarantee this year is going to be just as good, but with the people that are involved, you'd be... with the people that are involved, you'd be pretty shocked if it wasn't fantastic. I mean, Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho. Naito versus Okada. Ibushi. Ibushi is there, isn't he? But it's not. It's Tanahashi versus Jay White. There's Marty Skull versus Kushida versus Takahashi versus Will Osprey, I think it is, for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. So there's a lot of awesome stuff going on. And the New Day taking firm control to start things off here. New Day are really dominant here at the moment, aren't they? And Naito's just jumped out of the ring just for a split second to have a bit of a regroup. And I wonder whether... See, the thing is with this, I don't know whether the New Day might get a boost because they are a tag team. Maybe because it's a tag team match, they might get a bit of a boost in this one. Be interesting. But Ibushi and Naito have now taken control of their individual fights. And Ibushi, of course, because it is a Tornado Extreme Rules, it's no disqualification. So Ibushi can use this chair as much as he so wishes. But he's not going to get a chance because he just did not take Xavier Woods down enough to take full advantage. But Naito sending Kofi Kingston face first into the apron again. Once again, New Day turn it around. And are both members of the Japanese conglomerate here this evening. That's a good name for them or not. Both are on the outside. Now Naito slides back inside and catches Kofi unawares, but the numbers game for Xavier Woods. And then Ibushi straight back in, hitting that German suplex on Xavier Woods. Nice boot across the chest there by Ibushi. As Naito taking control of Kofi Kingston as well. It's just such a back and forth match, isn't it? Naito now. Big DDT on Kofi Kingston as Ibushi hits the line salt on Xavier Woods. Ibushi heading up top into a Phoenix Splash. One of his signature maneuvers, that one. But Xavier fighting back, but Naito now up on the middle rope. He flipped. I don't know what happened there. It's almost like Kofi went to go underneath him and ended up running face first into the corner. And you'd have to wonder here then, wouldn't you, if Kofi and Xavier Woods was to win this one. They have recently just had an opportunity at the Tag Team Championships at the pay-per-view, but it makes you wonder whether they should get another one, really, doesn't it? If they were to win this, don't get me wrong. As Kofi under the ring looking for some weapons, but it's annoying that when you're under the ring, I think the amount of times Ibushi punched. The amount of times Ibushi punched Kingston, but Kingston was always in the middle of an animation. That's silly, really, isn't it? Shining Wizard there by Xavier Woods. Kofi now taking Ibushi up on his shoulders, dropping him in with a snake eyes. Xavier Woods going for the pin. Only a 2 count. Naito avoiding the dive there by Xavier Woods, but not taking full advantage of the situation. Xavier Woods once again taking control. Nice splash by Xavier Woods from the middle rope. Going for the pin once again on Naito. Only a 2 count once again, but I just don't see Naito and Ibushi winning this one at this point in time, to be honest. New Day just seems to be dominating. I'm going to get foiled once again, aren't I? Naito now front chancery on Xavier Woods. I think we are going to get foiled. Unless Naito turns around. Oh, he did turn around, but it wasn't quick enough. But luckily for him, Ibushi did have the wherewithal to kick out. Naito, there's that tornado reverse DDT. But both guys down. Well, Ibushi caught Kofi Kingston as well. And Ibushi's just waiting too long. These people always wait too long, don't they? I don't need New Day. Just fall over New Day. Just let them win. I'm desperate for these ranking points. So now Naito's down the outside as two members of the New Day just taken out Kota Ibushi. And you can see the big difference with this match is the teamwork aspect, isn't it? New Day just have that teamwork about them, and they're finding it so much easier. But Naito straight back in the ring, catching Kofi, taking him down. Naito sending Kofi into the corner. What does Naito have planned? It's a Frankensteiner. Is that going to be enough, actually? Xavier looks down and out there. His arms are spread out. As Kota is in control of Kofi in the corner, but... well, we have got a domination now by the Japanese side. But they have enough. Well, there's a tornado reverse DDT by Naito. That might be enough. Ibushi drops into the pin. Naito's still down. 1, 2. Oh, it's a 2. Ah. Naito and Ibushi need these points so much. And it could still be enough, though, as Ibushi... If Kofi stays down the outside, Naito, you've got to try and get him out of the equation. There's the Ibushi bomb. Naito, you need to take Kofi out. Well, Naito's going to go for the pin. Can Ibushi keep Kofi away? He does! Ibushi keeps Kofi away from the pin, and Naito and Ibushi get the win and get 10 ranking points each. That is big. That is very, very big. That is exactly what these two guys needed. They needed the ranking points to really, especially Naito, because Naito had such a bad time in Season 1, hadn't he? Such a bad time. Or Season 2, should I say. Such a bad time. He was actually joint bottom of the rankings when he joined our roster at the beginning of this season. As time has gone on, he's managed to get himself 2 main event victories now in the space of 3 or 4 weeks. So he's actually got himself 20 ranking points, which is huge. Very, very huge, and that's definitely going to put him in a very strong position in our... Well, not a very strong position, but a much stronger position than what he was in. And I will say now, before the show ends... Look at that. Great respect being shown here by these two. Before the show ends, I am going to do a 8-man invitational over the top rope battle royal at the pay-per-view. There's a lot of ranking points at stake, and it's sort of like a feast or fight sort of match if you look at it that way. You come in, you can win a massive amount of ranking points, or you can lose 10 ranking points. 7 people will lose 10 ranking points, 1 man will gain 80, so it's going to be absolutely massive. So that is a match that will be happening, and all these guys will have to think about it. But there we go, that is the end of this show. I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then please do hit a like and, of course, subscribe if you would like to see some more. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again on New Year's Eve, I believe. Is that tomorrow? Is New Year's Eve tomorrow? What day is it today? I say what day is it today. I'm recording this like a week ahead because I'm on holiday at the moment, aren't I? Yes, it's New Year's Eve tomorrow. So we are going to have a special show for you on New Year's Eve, New Year's Eve's Revolution. I've got no idea what the card's going to be yet, to be honest, but we're just going to try and make some up as we go along, me and PJ Toby. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you there. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching. I've said that already once. Bye! That was a shit ending, wasn't it?